Hey everyone, welcome back to another remake video. So in today's video we're going to be diving into the production behind Lucky Luke and Gaullin's song I Like You. And today we're just covering the verses in the build, so make sure you're subscribed and you won't miss the chorus, which we'll be releasing on Friday. But let's go straight into it and see what we can do on the verses today. Okay, so this is the first element and the MIDI is just absolutely chaotic. It's basically an emulation of that whole kind of like voice synth which is being played at the start. And I believe this is like a synth in the original, but it's probably quite like an intricate MIDI, kind of like what we have here. So the sound I've used to kind of make this voicey synth sound is this lead here called ATB, which is available in Main Stage Vol.1. And a lot of that character comes in the portamento here, which I've just turned up to about 100 milliseconds. And here's how it sounds. So these really small parts here are just giving it little stabs of pitch bend, so you get kind of little intricacies in the held notes. This just gives it a bit more of like an organic feel, because if you've got a held MIDI note like this, it sounds like this. Versus just gives it a bit more wobble. And I've got some love filter on here, which is basically opening up the cutoff. So as this is in the intro section, it's just being opened up slowly, so you kind of get a bit more of that voice coming through. And then as we head into the actual main verse part here, you just hear it ducked under in the mix. Now I've also massively cut all of the low frequencies because this is a synth. It's got quite a bit of kind of bass and stuff in there as well, so I just cut all of the bass stuff. So next up, we're going to take a look at the re-space, which is being played at the start as well. I think this is just only in the intro, so you just hear this in the intro, and the rest of the song just uses like different pads and stuff. So this is called Reese Deep Devil from Music Vol.3. It's got like a really nice growly kind of attitude to it. So this is how it sounds. And there's a little bit of portamento on here, so you get a little bit of kind of flow and glide between the notes. So on the processing, we've got some reverb, which is just being used here to create a big reverse swelling like reverb sound. And so this is how it sounds in the mix. We've then got the BX Digital, which does a really good job of sort of sitting this sound on the sides a little bit. And everything is just sort of in mono for the low frequency stuff. So next up, we've got some claps, which are firstly being introduced on this point here where everything just kind of cuts out and it just sort of marks the start of the verse. So one of the main drivers of this record is the bass pluck, which kind of comes in right at the start on this verse here. And the bass we're using is called Lonely. To be honest, this is as close as you'll get with a remake with a bass sound. It's like pretty much spot on. It's got a really nice sort of mono, like gritty character to it. And this is the MIDI I've got for it. As you can see, we've got some little offbeat bits here, which are basically just swung a little bit with shuffle quantization. And then we've got some overlaps here on the notes, so you get more of like a glide sound. So this is everything so far. Now the next element that was kind of missing here was the string ambience, which just sits on top of the whole track when we hit this verse section here. So the string's being played on a C note and is being held throughout the whole song. And we're using this preset here called Effects Rising String, which is in Music Vol.2. So this is how the strings sound in the mix. They're quite subtle, they're not overpowering in the mix, they're just sitting kind of behind all the main elements. And then as we hit this last bit here right before the drop, we've got a bit of pitch bend going on. So before we hit that pre-drop section, we've got this sweep here, which is from Music Vol.4. It's got a nice kind of mix of like noise and tonal ambience to it, and it just really does a perfect job of recreating the original one. So now we're right into the pre-drop, and we've got some fills here. So the first sound is a Main Stage Vol.1 percussion hit. Just kind of an aggressive snare, I guess. To accompany that, we've got this Music Vol.4 chopped sample basically from a fill. And I believe I've taken that last tom hit. And so that's pretty much it for the whole production. I know it's a really short kind of area that we've covered today, but this is just the song. I guess it just goes straight into this, and then within 20 seconds you're on the drop. So this is all of it. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, smash the like button and come back on Friday to see the chorus. But here's the result of today.
So tell me things that excite you.